What is going on, everyone? It is Core here, and we are going to talk about no fapping. This is a topic that I've been asked to speak on a few times, and it slipped my mind that people have requested this. Someone just did again recently, so I'm going to make this video now before it slips my mind again, because this is not something that I focus on at all. And I'll tell you why, because it has a lot to do with the whole idea of what it is, why I don't focus on it, and the overall idea of existence itself, because it's very reflective to that, as everything is. So the idea of no fapping obviously is to not masturbate. Some people, they have different levels of it, but the base idea of it is just not to masturbate, not to release your seed or your semen for a male. And it really only applies to males. Now, it can apply to a female, but generally the idea of it is a masculine type of idea, because males a lot of times are just throwing their seed all around without any conscious understanding of what it is. And to really understand no fap, we have to first know that our seed is our essence. It's our most condensed form of us. That's why it's our seed. It is our oil. This is why it's so important to anoint yourself with the correct oils, because this seed is going to take on those oils. And those oils also grab what's in our body. So it's also important to have a clean body. And this is one of the reasons why you may not want to spread your seed, just in general, because it may not be a strong version of you due to your own life and health choices, because it's a physical thing and it's a mental thing. We can't just look at this as purely mental and energetic, because our body has to produce that. It takes a lot for our body to produce that seed. That's why we get so drained after releasing it, because it is the culmination of us into oil, just like a vial of oil. And holding on to it could also cause you, though, to overheat or overcharge yourself, because you are holding on to that essential oil of yourself. And if you are in the process of changing yourself and your health, it may be a good idea to release it, because you need to allow your body to reprocess it. Yes, it can go through the process of redoing it itself. It could take longer doing it that way, because your body has to actually basically purify it, which is then it's eating it and reproducing it, which it's constantly doing anyways. But just like us urinating, the more we urinate, the more we drink water, the more our urine gets cleared out, the more our kidneys and our body begins to get cleared out. It's the same idea of that, because it's something that you don't have to urinate. Your body can reuse that and turn it all around, but that's a lot for the body to do with this type of environment we're living in. So we leak it out to allow ourselves to put pure fresh water in us to grab everything else and to bring it out again. Not to say by any means that urine is poisonous, but there is definitely levels to the purity of urine and what it's going to do for you. And the same goes for semen, because it's what moves you. That's why it's called semen. It's what moves your ship. So the idea of no fapping is broken, because it's all based on circumstance. If you are someone who masturbates daily, especially to some type of porn, you are wasting your energy, you're wasting your seed, because that's a whole magic trick. That's illusion. You're staring at a screen. A lot of people don't know how to even release their seed without staring at a screen, because they've been programmed to think that I need this. I need to see someone to be able to have an orgasmic experience, which is not true whatsoever. This is why we are so unself-fulfilled, a lot of us, because we feel that we need to be able to watch some random people with actors, who knows, on the internet, on screens, that are causing us a flashing effect, creating this illusion that we're actually being aroused by this material, when it's really us. We're putting our energy outside of us at that point, which weakens us, which gives us a lower self-respect, because now we feel that this is the only way to do it, when it absolutely is not. Each and every one of us can do all of this on our own, internally, and on our own in an external way, without looking at something else, without even having another partner. We can do this purely in our imagination, in many different ways. And when we are sitting here using that screen, it's pure waste of energy. And not to get into the whole entire other end of it, of how it's illusionary magic. It's black magic being used on you, because you're giving your seed to someone else at the same time you're just wasting it. Nothing gets wasted. Someone's getting that energy. Someone is getting that energy. And whatever is in your mind at that time of release is what's getting that energy. If you don't know about sex magic, go look into sex magic. It's real. Sex magic exists. And that is the whole reason of pornography. And that's why pornography is probably, multi-trillion-dollar business. It's one of the biggest industries. It's one of the biggest taboos that there is in all facets, because of how sexualized everything is. But that's because of how easy it is to subdue someone to thinking that you need to look at something in front of you when you're truly still using your imagination. You're just projecting it into an outworld environment instead of using your own mind. You can do this all internally. But you also don't want to program your mind to what you were looking at on that screen, because you're just pretty much taking that screen and putting it into your mind at that point. You don't want that either. So from a standpoint of if you're doing it like that, you're wasting your energy. Now, is it wrong to ejaculate, to masturbate? No, absolutely not. And for the reason I said in the beginning of this video, there's times where we need to release. Just as we need to ground ourselves out and allow the energy to flow out, we can do this in physical ways, and that's one of them as well. Yes, we are going to be tired afterwards. Yes, we are going to be exhausted, especially if you're working on doing it through your own imagination. That's going to exhaust you even more, because now you're actually using your own energy to do it instead of pulling someone else's energy out to give them all of yours. It's work. You got to work at it. You got to work on your imagination. You got to work on your mental focus and your ability to do different things. You can have an orgasm without even touching yourself. You can have an orgasm by looking at a flower. You can have an orgasm by eating something. This is not limited to only ejaculating in one way, shape, or form. This whole world is orgasmic. That's why they say this whole world is sexual, because it truly is. But that's a very base level of looking at it, because of how people are programmed with what sex is. It makes it into this thing that it is, but at the same time, it's not really sexualized. It just is what it is. And unless you can see it as it just is what it is, you can get caught up in the idea that this whole world is about sex. No, it's just about two energies. One that is something, one that isn't something. And they flip around and they do different things. It's simple. And because we have both of these energies in us, when we can figure out how to use them, when we can figure out how to use our mind and body in perfect unison, we'll have orgasmic experiences with everything. So truly, there is no such thing as no fapping. It's so illogical and such a mental trap to think about it like that, that it really imprisons people's mind to that idea. Is there a purpose for doing it though physically? Yes, there absolutely is, because you're building up energy. The same way that you fast, it's the same idea. You're building up energy. You're not always going to want to do this. You might do it for years. You might do it for 20 years. Who knows? But you're building up energy, and you got to know why you're doing that. You got to know why you're building up energy. Just like if you decide to only eat a certain way, you got to know why you're doing that. You got to know why you're building up that type of energy and what you're going to utilize it for. You have to have your mind on the prize. You can't be sitting here looking at, I need to do this because I'm wasting my energy. No. That's wasting your energy, because you're worried about wasting your energy. It's a compounding effect. You have to know why you are doing it. What are you building up your energy for? One case I would say is, if you want to create a strong child, you better build up your energy mentally, physically, and spiritually. So you better, no fap as it's called, you better abstain from releasing your seed, at least before you get ready to actually release that seed, so they can impregnate an egg. And this goes the same for females, because the egg is the seed is the egg. They're just different parts of it. The egg doesn't grow without the seed. So, like I said, you have something, you have the energy that's something and the energy that's everything that it's not. That's the idea of the egg is something and the seed is everything the egg isn't, which is why life comes out of it. That's why you get creation out of it. And when we want to procreate and create a new life, have children, we are going to want to get our seed, male and female, in a pristine condition. This is why people a lot of times can't get pregnant, because this is why, just in general, it's hard for people to get pregnant. It's because they're so freaking unhealthy. Because they're so damn unhealthy. It's because they take poor care of their mind, body, and spirit. Very, from a physical standpoint at that. They have really weak genes. They have really weak DNA because they've deteriorated. Instead of growing it and making it stronger, they're killing themselves, basically. So the universe ain't gonna let them procreate. Not now. Hell no. That's why all of this is compounding in this time, because the universe is going upward spiral now. We're moving back up in energetic efficiency. We've been playing down in the mud for a while, being inefficient, which is fun. It's fine. But now we're going the other way. And that's why a lot of people just can't have children. They're not meant to. But science comes along and does in vitro. How many of those children have some type of mental illness? It's because the electrical charge from that seed going into the magnetic force of that egg was not right. It didn't match up. It didn't line up. This is where one of the main places where mental illness comes from. Yes, there are other things that can cause this along the way, but this is the first place where it's going to get caused at the point of creation, because those two things are weak, because those two things are imbued with the energy of the life of who beholds them, male and female. So when you want to have children, you might actually want to spill your seed at first, because you want to get rid of it. You want to let that out. And then you want to rebuild it by taking in the correct foods, the correct nutrients, which nutrients has to do with electricity, alkalizing yourself and balancing it out, getting yourself to a balanced mind state, physical state, not stressed out, being in an environment where it's calm. You're not stressed out by work that you're doing. You're not stressed out by money, because these things creep into the seeds, which then creep into the children. This is a line that we have to think down. This stuff is deep, but at the same time, it's simple. And so we want to build up that seed for when we're actually ready to release it. But like I said, we might want to start by actually letting it out. Then we go into abstaining from letting it out. Then we go into the no fap trend. Except we're not doing that really, because we're doing it for a purpose. We have an idea. And you don't even have to create, you can do this. This is sex magic. You can do this with creation in other ways. It doesn't necessarily have to be a physical child. It can be an idea. Because it's all about nouns. Noun. It's all about noun. And a noun is an idea. Person, place, thing, or idea. Right? So we can do this with other things besides matter. Besides bringing a actual child into existence. It can be something else. And this is probably the most powerful way to create, period. That's why children come out of it. This is the most powerful way to create. And when we can hone this ability and figure out how to utilize it in the life that we live, you're God now. Because you're going to make godly children even. And your children are going to be far and superior, better off than anyone else, because you're not only in a relaxed, calm environment where you're stable and balanced and relaxed yourself, where you get a lot of rest and take care of yourself. Your children are going to be put into that environment. They're going to come into existence in that environment, and they're going to be imbued with it. Not only because that is around them, but because you actually put that into them. It goes always. Always. You start at the core and you go always with it. It never stops, and it really never started. So to wrap this video up, because I'm sure it's getting a little long, no fap is plain and simple bullshit. It's not something that anyone should be focusing on, because it is a drain of your energy. Now, like I said, if you are wasting your energy by masturbating daily, especially to some type of pornography or whatever, no, you don't want to be doing that. That's a waste of your energy too. So abstain from that. Fast. That's all you're doing. Don't see it as no fap, because that's a illusionary practice that was put out by who? Who the hell made that up? Where the hell did that come from? I'm sure you could find like some person that tweeted about it however long ago, like they came up with the idea of it. It's a meme. And it's a joke. Honestly, it's a joke. That's what all of these terms are. That's why everything has to get a label put on it, because once you put a label on it, now the magicians can take your energy, because that's a portal. Words are portals, and when you create a label, who owns that trademark? I'd be interested to look that up. Who owns that trademark? Who owns that phrase? Where did it come from? Because that's where this energy is going. The same way McDonald's owns the word McDonald's. They own their logo. When you see McDonald's, your mind goes to it potentially, depending on your fixation with it. It might not though. If you've completely pulled yourself out of it, you might not even know you're passing one, because it's not on your radar. It's not in your frequency. It's outside of you. And that's how I feel about no fap. It's outside of me, because I see the illusionary practice that it is. So I have faith that this video will give you some insight and truth on what no fap is, and how it's truly an illusionary label that is put on things. And it just all depends on our current situation of what we need to be doing. It's all about our personal existence and what we're doing in life. There's no right or wrong way to do anything. It's just what needs to be done. What choice do I need to make right now for me to get to what I am projecting? How do I get out of this rut so that I can get to what I see myself as in, with, whatever it may be? And if you made it this far, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell so you can get more of these amazing videos. And you have a wonderful rest of your day.